Hey, beautiful soul. Sonia B here with DR List the Killer. I am back with several different prophetic messages. So I do notice that there is a common theme that some of you guys are going to find yourself dealing with. And a common theme is going to be low vibrational energies, okay? So with that being said, if some of you guys are on this twin flame journey and you're just trying to navigate this energy, or whether you're on a twin flame journey or not, you could just be having a Saturn return as well too, okay? So basically this is some information that will help you kind of navigate the energies that you guys are dealing with, okay? So let's go ahead and get into the message, okay? So first of all, as I said before, some of you guys are going to find yourself dealing with some low vibrational energies. For some of you, it could be a situation of dealing with low vibrational energies from your twin. And for some of you, it could be a situation of dealing with low vibrational energies just from other people in general. So that's something just to kind of like be mindful of, okay? Because I'm not sure if I really feel like it has something to do with like, these transits or these different planetary shifts that we have in a sense. And that's why I keep telling you guys that, these things do kind of matter. They don't teach you this stuff when you're in school, when you're talking about planetary and how they can affect you, okay? Especially the moon in a sense, okay? Because the moon is tied back to your emotions and how you feel on the inside in a sense. And it helps you to be able to express what's on the inside outwardly, okay? And for those of you who do not know, it's a situation of sometimes when these transits come in regards to the moon phases, especially like new moons and, things like that, people kind of run into issues because they may possibly become a little emotional during this time. And again, it is tied back to, again, the moon is kind of helping you to express, how you feel on the inside outwardly, okay? That's why it's important to make sure that you know, kind of, what's the word? Kind of speak your truth, kind of say what you need to say, kind of express yourself. For some of you, I'm hearing, thank you, Spirit. For some of you, it's a situation of needing to express yourself in a different light, okay? Because I just saw the color green when I closed my eyes, okay? And green is a representation of the heart chakra, which is tied back to, love in a sense, okay? So either you're going to have love in your heart, or either you're going to have a situation where you have love in your heart, but you kind of suppress that because you don't want necessarily others to know how you feel, how you think, because you feel like, I just heard the word vulnerability. Thank you, Spirit. Just heard the word vulnerability. Some of you are just afraid to be, vulnerable in a sense. Being vulnerable doesn't make you weak in a sense. It just means that you're in tune to your feelings and your emotions, okay? Where society tell you, oh, if you cry, you're weak in a sense, okay? But no, the truth of the matter is if people walk this earthly plane and did not cry at all, that says a lot about you. There's nothing wrong with the people who cry. It's the people who don't cry that you need to worry about, okay? That means they're not in touch with their feelings or emotions, okay? Anyway, so as I said before, some of you guys should just need to be mindful of that, okay? Again, I just saw like, dealing with situations of low vibrational energy, okay? Whether it's a situation of this being a present moment day reality in a sense, or whether it's a situation of the Most High is kind of having you to revisit the past in a sense. And when I say revisit the past, because sometimes again these different transits have us to kind of reflect back on our childhood, or reflect back on any situations that may have been unpleasant as a child, okay? Or just any trauma that you can possibly remember within your lifetime, or whether it's a situation of something's coming up out of your psyche, which is down in your subconscious, that kind of working its way up to the surface in order to be expressed outwardly, of maybe something, some sort of traumatic trauma, some hurt, some pain, or something that needs to be healed, okay? But as I said before, it's low. Some of you, it's a situation of dealing with low vibrational energies, okay? And the Most High could be bringing your awareness to something from your past, of how a certain mindset is what I'm hearing. Thank you, Spirit. A certain mindset that maybe some of you guys may have had in regards to, like, let's just say maybe your upbringing, or maybe it was a past life of, maybe spending lifetime after lifetime, or maybe like running from the truth, running from reality, running from your responsibilities, running from being mature, and always, let's just say, like maybe being in a mindset of just like being immature, okay? Is what's coming to mind. So for some, I'm hearing also too, it could be a situation of, maybe it's a situation of, rather than being responsible, maybe some of you may have in a past life chose the route of being like, let's just say, having homelessness in your life, in a sense of, just choosing to not maybe like have a home, maybe being at a shelter, or choosing to be living on the streets, or whatever the case may be, okay? I'm not here to judge. I'm just telling you what's possibly coming up out of people's psyche, and why they have made the choices and decisions that they have made in this present day reality, and why maybe certain patterns and habits and cycles keep seeming like they keep coming up. As I told you guys before in the last video that I did, it's almost like the Most High is trying to eradicate, is what I heard, basically remove it for once and for all out of your life, okay? But you first have to be able to, first of all, thank you, Spirit, you have to be able to know what it is that you're eradicating, because if you don't know what you're getting rid of, this is why the Most High brings it to your attention, and he shows you, hey, this is an issue, this is a problem, you need to deal with this. So I need you to deal with it for once and for all, okay? So that way it can just be done with, okay? But this is more so about not running from your fears, but facing your fears is what I'm hearing. When you face your fears, it's almost like, excuse me, when you're facing your fears, it's almost like you're stepping into a mindset of just being courageous, in a sense, having some courage, okay? Just standing, being able to just stand in what maybe possibly feels uncomfortable. Because for some of you, what I'm hearing is, even if it's a traumatic experience from childhood, some of you guys may have kind of blotted that out so that you don't remember, or maybe it was, the situation could have been so traumatic to the point that maybe you may have found other coping mechanisms, is what I'm hearing, other coping mechanisms in order to help you to deal with, suppress, block out, shy away from those feelings, emotions. For some of you, I'm hearing is certain things, maybe rituals and practices, maybe you may have set in place that allows you not to remember that thing that really hurt and possibly harmed you as a child, in a sense, okay? And for some of you, it may not even be a situation in this current life. It could be a situation from a past life, but, nevertheless, the Most High is kind of bringing something to your awareness, okay? So this other message that I received too, then this one is the kicker as well too, okay? So for some of you, it's a situation, it almost came through like, let's just say if you're in a situation, you're in a marriage or whatever, the way I saw it was like being in a situation. If you have, like, let's just say stepkids in a situation, and let's just say that maybe you're the masculine and you have a son in a situation. Let's just say I kind of saw your, as an example, I'm just giving it, this is an example, but this may not be your example, but the way God showed it to me was, and I just saw 717, so for somebody that is significance, okay, on the clock or whatever. So imagine like your son, your firstborn son, standing like in the corner, just watching and observing and taking in what's being done. And let's just say that, because again, this is how God showed it to me in a dream. And let's just say it's a situation of, let's just say that you're married or possibly in a relationship. And again, this new relationship that you're in, well, of course we know that okay, so it's a situation of having a stepchild, but that child is standing in a corner. So he's sitting back watching you of how you deal with your current wife or current relationship or even current partnership or whatever the case may be, and you have kids with that current person. So he's sitting back and he's watching you of how you're dealing, how you're handling that individual person, because it came through as if, like, let's just say the dad maybe have a excuse me y'all, that the dad maybe have a, let's just say maybe was in his feelings for a moment, okay? So the way I saw it was like some screws. So somebody opened up the screws, and the screws didn't look like they were messed up to me in the sense of how I saw it in the dream. They were all still organized, but you peel back the paper, the plastic, and they were still in their compartments. But basically this individual wanted to know, that the dad wanted to basically know who opened up the screws. Where at first thank you, Spirit, almost forgot this. So basically he was basically targeting their child that this man and wife has together, okay, partner, whoever it is, the current person that they have together. So basically he started targeting that child, okay? But what he did not know is why he started targeting that child, because it just kind of came from out of nowhere. Because as I said before, in the dream, the way I saw it, the screws were still in their little compartments and nothing was out of place. It's just that it was open and they was just kind of finding something to complain about. So again, the child was standing back, his firstborn child, that is not currently, I don't want to confuse myself. His firstborn child from another relationship, he's standing in a corner watching his dad, and his dad is basically coming after his other son in a sense, okay? And I saw he was kind of coming after his son. And as he was coming after his son, basically what was happening was he basically was about to kind of lunge towards the son, like, why did you, do these to the screws? So it's almost like the mom kind of steps in front of the child, like, no, like, you're not going to target him for that because he didn't have that. I had that, in a sense, is what was being said in the dream. The mom was saying, I had that. He didn't have that. So you're targeting the wrong person. So she was doing her job as a mom of any means necessary, was doing what she needed to do in order to protect her child. Now, whether this is a situation that may have transpired in this lifetime, and the way I'm seeing it and what I'm hearing as well too, is this has not only happened in this lifetime, but it's also happened in other lifetimes as well too, where that same type of behavior has kind of been going on and on and on. And this is where the Most High is trying to get you again to eradicate that type of energy, heal it, address it, figure out where the source is coming from, and nip it in the bud for once and for all. Because what he did not know was there was a prior conversation. There was an argument with the husband and the wife. And they basically said, the woman said to the man, she said, basically, you can go be with his mom, the stepchild's mom. You can go be with his mom, in a sense. And it doesn't matter, because it came through as if, that child's mom works for the government, in a sense. That's how it came through in the dream, right? So somebody's working for some of these different institutions or whatever. So so thank you, Spirit. The significance behind it, me saying the word government, was because it's almost like a false sense of hope. Okay, that's what the Spirit wants you to know. And bear with me as I deliver this message. Okay, I'm trying to read it, decode it the best way I can, okay, or articulate it the best way I can. So anyway, so basically the woman says to the man, like, you can go be with her. It doesn't matter because she works for the government and I don't care. But that doesn't mean that just because you go be with her, that doesn't mean that, that she's gonna, how did it come through? That she's gonna, because apparently this is a situation of, okay, thank you, Spirit. So what's coming to mind is, if you guys go back to the story of Sarah and Hagar, you guys can go read that for yourself. It was like, God had promised Sarah that he was going to give her a child, okay? And then Sarah was being a little impatient, so she gave her husband over to, the concubine, maidservant, or whoever she was, okay? It's different stories, so you're not really sure exactly which one. It's supposed to be the maidservant, concubine, or whatever the case may be. Okay, but I say all that to say that basically he ended up having a child with the person outside of the marriage, and then they eventually end up having their own child that God had promised that they would have. So basically what it was it's almost like a situation of, let's just say, the man looking at two different women that he may have had kids with, and he's looking at this woman because maybe she may be moving a little different, and he's looking at this other past woman that he had a previous relationship with, of looking at things of, oh, well, this person, as an example, oh, this person works for the government, so they have a solid foundation, or whatever the case may be, where he looks at this person and she may be trying to build something totally different, or she's doing something totally different. But what this individual is failing to realize is that you can't compare one relationship to the other, okay? Because maybe at that time, that person that was working for the government, that worked at that period in time that you was in a relationship with that person. But now that you're in another relationship, let's just say that God has this other person moving a little differently. And that's where you guys have to learn how to draw the line, not compare the two, or not compare someone to someone else, okay? Because these are two different people, two different bloodlines. So therefore, if God may have promised one person something where he did not promise the other person something. Thank you, Spirit. And that's just kind of how it's coming through. Because in the dream, it's almost like, again, it was like saying, oh, well, you can go be with that person. It don't matter because they work for the government, but they're not going to have what I have, in a sense. So you can go be with them, in a sense. Okay. So this is about standing up for yourself, understanding your self-worth, and not settling for anything less than what you deserve. Because if he is in that mindset of, oh, well, this person has this, and that, and I'm gonna go be with this person because, they have this, and that, and they built this, and again, that's where some of you guys have to learn how to be able to see things from a higher perspective, is just what I heard. Thank you, Spirit. Because God ways is not your ways, in a sense. So therefore, just because of how that person is moving, that's how that person was probably meant to move. But this person over here was probably meant to be moving it a little differently. But what you did not know, here's the plot twist. Okay, so for some of you guys, the way I saw it was that person has kind of been like a sore spot in your relationships throughout history, and not only throughout history, but even in this current life as well too. And basically, God wants you to get to a point that you have to learn how to set up boundaries, is just what I heard, and learn how to eradicate that energy for once and for all, and to heal it, so that way that you're not being controlled, that you're not being puppeteered, that you're not being manipulated by other people. Because it's almost like that person was projecting at you as a male, projecting at the male this current relationship. So thank you, Spirit. What I'm hearing is some of you males, as I told you guys before, you guys are sensitive and you don't even know it. For some of you, it's a sensitive situation to the point that you're sensitive. You're not even setting up any boundaries for yourself. Okay. So it's just like everybody's energy is kind of like around you, and you're not kind of setting these boundaries in place for yourself, cleansing your energy. And some of you, you're kind of rejecting. Some of you may have kind of reject or even contemplated on cleansing your energy in a sense. And even if there's a sense of submerging yourself in water, if you think about it, when Jesus baptized people, that was a form of cleansing. Okay. And that's something that needs to be done regularly, because it helps to clear your energy from other people's energy in a sense. Okay. So that way you're able to decipher what's yours and what's somebody else, and when somebody's projecting at you and when they're not projecting at you. Okay. Because again, it was the son's mom who was projecting at the masculine energy, and the masculine energy then started targeting the current son as a means of jealousy, is what I'm hearing. Enviness, in a sense of what I'm hearing, is because, again, God has promised one person something, but God did not promise that other female the same exact thing of which he promised the other person. So again, you have to realize, as I said before, so if you're dealing with a situation that you're dealing with the baby mama, in a sense, or if you're dealing with a situation that, let's just say your current spouse has has kids outside of the marriage. So if you're dealing with situations like that, baby mama, baby daddy, it doesn't matter. But the truth of the matter is you have to remember that sometimes people can project at you. Again, if you're a masculine energy, if you're a black male, again, you are needing to make sure that you set up boundaries for yourself, just set up boundaries, okay? That's important, okay? Because setting up boundaries for yourself, saying, hey, this is my energy. I'm here to protect it, and I'm not here to just allow everybody and anybody to cross over my boundaries, or just be allowing any and everything to come into your house, your home, around you, trying to manipulate, again, puppeteer, or, hoodwink you, bamboozle, or whatever the case may be, okay? So that's something to be mindful of, okay? But anyway, the moral of the story is, thank you, Spirit. The moral of the story, let me finish up, because Spirit is saying, finish up. The moral of the story is basically some of you guys have been manipulated by your baby mamas in a sense, okay? And it's something to be mindful of, because again, the baby mama, the way I saw it, was kind of projecting at your current spouse, your current relationship. Again, this message may not be for everyone, but again, I heard basically, if the message resonates, then just use your intuition to lead you and guide you in regard to if the message is for you again, okay? If you relate to the message. And if you don't, leave it, okay? But the truth of the matter is that some of you guys are dealing with a situation where your baby mama is kind of targeting or projecting negative energy at you. So that way you currently project negativity at your current child and who you're in a relationship with currently, in a sense. Projecting at them, and not only are they projecting at them, but now you find yourself kind of lunging and targeting at them. So if you guys have ever find yourself in a situation till you feel like even something small as minor, as I said before, it was just like something like screws, but again, all the screws were all in the correct compartment. They were all in the correct compartment, but nothing was out of place. But this masculine wasn't even recognizing that, that he was being manipulated at the time. Because imagine somebody kicking their foot up at you like, get the fuck out my way. Literally kicking their foot up at you in a sense, like, get the fuck out my way, in a sense, okay? Just something minor over some screws. So it wasn't even, that type of energy wasn't even warrant for, okay? But again, you have your son sitting over in the corner watching you of how you're currently doing it. Now, what's coming to mind is some of you guys could be just acting and responding, and you're not thinking before you do things, because some of you guys were meant to heal your generational bloodline in a sense. So how do you heal it? You heal it by fixing a problem. You don't keep repeating cycles, because remember, kids, people like tape recorders. They remember what you say. They remember what you do. Eyes are like the windows to the soul. They constantly recording, oh, I remember you treated this person that way. And some of them, they may think that it's okay for them to treat people that way in a sense. So that's why I said something you have to be mindful of, because at the end of the day, when it's time to leave this earthly plane, some of your souls, what's coming to mind is some of you guys are going to regret a lot of stuff that you did not do right if you don't have the opportunity. If you didn't have the opportunity or the means to try to fix the situation before leaving this earthly plane, trust me, there will be a lot of regret. There will be a lot of hurt behind the scenes. So basically what the Most High is trying to get some of you guys to do is learn to speak up. Again, when you speak up, you say what you need to say and you express what you need to say, because again, when you're able to say what you need to say, you're not regretting that you didn't say anything. Okay. And again, for some of you, it's about what you're saying, watching what you're saying, watch how you're moving and watch how you are doing things. Because some of you, it's a situation of, you don't realize, but you're causing your own pain. Some of you want love, and it's like love is sitting right there. I'm hearing right at the door, sitting right there at the door. But some of you guys, you're the problem, that you keep sabotaging it because it's either the way you're thinking, the way you're speaking, the way you're behaving, because there are no boundaries in place. And when you have no boundaries in place, it says a lot about your personality. It basically says that, you don't love yourself in a sense. Okay. And I say that to say, because a person who loves themselves, they're going to go to the means of protecting themselves. Okay. And that's something to keep in mind. So when you just, things like just allowing anybody, again, as I said before, any and everybody in your space, and allow any and everybody to see what it is that you're doing, and just constantly doing that, it's no sense of boundaries. Okay. Anyway, so again, as I said, some of you guys are dealing with baby mamas who basically are projecting at you, and you're projecting that negativity at your child. And not only you projecting it at your child, but you're also projecting it at your spouse in a sense, because your child is kind of jumping in the middle, because they're realizing that what you're complaining about, or what you're, in your feelings about, absolutely does not warrant the situation of your feelings and your emotions in a sense. It's not appropriate. Okay. It's not appropriate for that. Those actions are not appropriate for the current situation, okay, at hand, okay, because it's going overboard is just what I heard. For is trying to kick your foot up at somebody, and basically trying to kick your foot up at somebody. That's a form of disrespect in a sense, okay. Anyway, so some of you guys need to be aware of that. So hopefully you heard that message. So be mindful of that. But again, for those of you, God is basically trying to send you the help that you need. But again, as I said before, some of you guys keep sabotaging your own. You keep sabotaging your own life is what I'm hearing, okay? Because again, it's almost like God is trying to send you help in. You want help. He's trying to send you help in, but you keep doing things to sabotage the help that he keeps trying to send you in, because some of you feel like, oh, well, I'm supposed to just kind of show up and overextend myself and constantly always keep giving. No, it's about even give and takes. God is trying to put right people in your life, so that way the scales are kind of balanced. Because right now, some of you guys are like this. You're trying to give to people out here in the world, and some of them aren't even worthwhile giving to, where the Most High is trying to say, hey, I didn't tell you to give to that person. Hey, I didn't tell you to do this. I didn't tell you to do that. If I said be of service, I didn't say go be of service of this. You should have questioned and asked, what do you want me to be of service of? Guide me to the place that you want me to be of service of. That's what people keep kind of making their mistakes, because they hear one thing and they think, oh, I'm supposed to go out here and be open and just give the whole world my time, attention, and my energy. And no, some of you guys are giving it to the wrong people. Just saying. Just what I heard. Okay, so this next message, and some of you guys most likely will probably be guided to, some of you guys may be finding yourself, yeah, okay. Anyway, thank you, Spirit. So anyway, this next message is coming through as well, too. And this is a situation of, again, another traumatic experience pertaining to childhood, okay? So for some of you, if it's a situation of, it could have been a past life, and God is bringing it to your attention because that energy is stored in your DNA. And it's almost like it could be disrupting, is what I'm hearing, causing problems in your current life, okay? And for some of you, it is a situation from this current life of abuse, okay? So the way I saw this was, imagine somebody kind of being like at a either refugee camp or a homeless shelter where they have like women and children, and possibly men too. I think they probably have some, I don't know, maybe I guess if they're married and they're in the shelter or whatever, maybe they allow the husband and the wife and the kids to be there. Well, I think some shelters, are just all women or either all men or whatever the case may be. And some may, again, be women, I guess, kids and spouses. No, I take that back. There is some that have family shelters, because I think one time when my daughter, when we was doing Girl Scout, when I was like cookie mom for Girl Scouts, in a sense, we went to like a shelter and we was helping out at a shelter or whatever, the food bank that had a homeless shelter across the way, in a sense. And basically I saw men there as well as women and children. So yes, this is a situation of dealing with like homeless shelters, as I said before, even situations that are like, you know, how when people have like emergency evacuations and maybe they have to go stay at like a gymnasium at a school or whatever, some sort of shelter that's in place. Or it could be a situation, as I said before, like a refugee type camp or something that pertains like a bunch of cots, and let's just say section off to where, let's just say maybe you and your family stay right here in this little section, maybe another little family stay in this section, another little family is over in this section. So whoever's in your household, you have this certain specific section that is for you. So the way I saw this was, it's like, and be mindful, y'all, because this is where God is trying to get some of you guys to address some issues pertaining to whether it be mommy issues, daddy issues, or just issues in general with, you know, men or women, okay? Because it's like, imagine there's like this child that was young, okay? So again, different people in the shelter and they have their own little spot there. Let's just say it was kind of sectioned off or whatever the case may be. So you can kind of keep your stuff from everybody else, but it's like an open gym or whatever, or open shelter in a sense. So it's like someone, like a lady from across the way inside the shelter, was kind of like calling out to a child's name, okay? For some of you, if this message resonates, I don't know if it's a specific message for someone. I feel like it's a specific message for someone because the name Alexis came up, okay? So it was a specific message for someone, but it could also be applying to other people in situations that they may have dealt with. So for some of you, it could be an answer to, maybe you're trying to figure out what possibly happened to maybe a child earlier on in life, and maybe this could be a little bit of clue of where you're at right now, of what happened, why the child is maybe doing the things that they're doing, why they responding the way that they're responding, why they're acting, behaving, or doing certain things that you feel like is possibly out of character. But again, just because it says the name Lexus, if it resonates, then take it, okay? If it doesn't, then that's fine, whether it says Alexis or not, but the Lexus is just for a specific person, okay? So I say all that to say, somebody called out the name Alexis, and I felt like it was a grown woman, okay? Meaning like this woman, she also had children of her own. So she called out Alexis, and it's almost like, she's like, Alexis? So it's like some of the other people was like, she was like, well, where's Alexis at? And at first I thought it was her mom in a sense, okay? But then I realized her mom was there with her, but this person was inquiring about where she was at. So it's like everybody was, not everybody, but a few people kind of pointed their hands and went like that and saying she's over there in a sense. So as that person from across the room was looking for the child in a sense, it's almost like the child had kind of like needed to go to the bathroom, okay? And the way I saw this was, it was like kind of like nighttime. Maybe some people were asleep, some people were awake. And again, remember, this is open gym with cots and stuff in it, okay? So anyway, so it's almost like the child needed to go to the bathroom, but then I got that there was an energy, an adult energy that was there with her. So I take it that that was her actual mom that was there with her. But again, somebody else from across the room was inquiring about where is she, okay? And then so she kind of told her mom that she needed to go to the bathroom. And then let me describe this to you really quick, just so you understand, because this has a lot to do with childhood. It has a lot to do with vulnerability in a sense, because sometimes kids are vulnerable because they are young, they're impressionable in a sense. And it's almost like, you know, kids, they don't necessarily know the information that we know as an adult, okay? So therefore, if it's like this child needed to use the bathroom, so they kind of told the mom, kind of like, I really need to go to the bathroom. So the mom kind of had a choice of, some of her kids would sleep, and then it was a choice of leaving the kids who was asleep there by themselves amongst the other people, or it was leaving or waking up all the kids, I guess, and taking that child to the bathroom, because the child went to the bathroom. But I don't know if you guys remember, like back in the days, you know, people would kind of walk around in their t-shirts and undies in a sense as kids, okay? You know, they had the little underoos, if you guys, you know, familiar with that or whatever the case may be. So I say all that to say, like, it's kind of almost like this is what this child was kind of going to the bathroom. And so to me, that was just vulnerability in a sense, like they were just being a kid, okay? So They didn't mean anything. But anyway, I say all that to say, it's like the moment that the child get up and told said like they kind of needed to use the bathroom, basically what happened was it's like another child had kind of jumped up too, but I felt like this child was not a part of in their section that they was in. But I felt like maybe this mom felt like this child kept kind of following her child, because the way I saw it was it's almost like her child kind of ran. I could see the child running out the door to like the gymnasium and then turning, going down the hall a little bit, okay? And then it's almost like I could see the mom kind of grabbing the other child's, like holding their arm back, trying, no, where you going? Like she didn't need you to follow her in a sense. So I was trying to figure out whether it was a situation of the child just didn't want the child to go to the bathroom by herself, or as being somebody, having somebody there with her. I was trying to, it was kind of like, I felt like it was a situation of unknown type energy. So either the mom thought that the child was trying to target her child and she held her back, or it's a situation of the mom knew that the she wasn't for she excuse me, bear with me, either she knew that the child was kind of always following her child and she wanted to make sure the child didn't go into the bathroom with her. Maybe what I'm hearing is she probably speculated maybe some her actions or her behavior that made her kind of question of her going to the bathroom with her daughter in a sense, okay? Because sometimes, as kids are young, kids kind of explore in a sense, what's coming to mind is when kids were young and sometimes they play those little games of hide and seek, hide and go get it, or whatever you want to call it in a sense. That's kind of what's coming to mind, okay? So I say all that to say that you don't know other people's background, you don't know their history, and you don't know their trauma. So therefore, if the way I saw it was if the mom was kind of telling the other kid, no, you don't need to go. She's fine by going to the bathroom. Like, you don't need to follow her. So the child went to the bathroom, but the way I saw that was, it was as if it was a situation that maybe some of you guys, I guess, need some answers to, something pertaining to your childhood that has something to do with abuse in some sort of way, manipulation, abuse, because it's tied back to the woman who was on the other side of the room. And maybe it could be a situation, maybe some of you guys don't trust women in a sense, okay, because you knew that maybe some of these people were kind of targeting you. And what I'm also hearing too is that some of these people kind of saw maybe, like, let's just say, the light on like a specific child, because they kept kind of calling that child's name out, like, where is she, like, where is she in a sense, like. And it's almost like I'm hearing, because you have to realize that sometimes people know who we are before we even know who we are in a sense, or before we kind of come into our essence, our being of who we truly are, who we truly meant to be, before we become seasoned, before we come into our actual birthright. Well, some people have to learn that over time in a sense. And I got the win of, this mom who was also a mom as well too. Could have been a situation of, maybe some of you guys dealt with a situation when you were young. Maybe it was a situation, what's coming to mind is a babysitter that you was at. Maybe it might have been a situation that a babysit might have done some inappropriate things that, that would leave an aftertaste in some people's mouth. And it could be a situation, what I'm hearing as well too is, you might have been young to the point that you don't even remember these events happening in a sense, okay? But it left an impact on you, okay? So that's something to be mindful of. So there are going to be some people dealing with issues of abuse in some sort of kind, and it's basically the Most High trying to allow you to see what has been underneath the surface all this time. For some of you, what I'm hearing is could have been a situation, maybe you kind of went on throughout your life. Again, for some of you, you did not even know that this had even happened in a sense, okay? Because maybe you was too young, whether you are man or woman. Don't think that abuse only extends itself to or has happened to women, because it happens to men as well too. And it could have been somebody who was an adult woman doing something inappropriate to a male child in a sense. So be mindful of that as well too. Don't just think that it applies to women. Okay. So I say all that to say, this is why I'm hearing, thank you too, Spirit. This is why I'm also hearing too, be mindful of who you leave your kids with as well too. Okay. And I say all that to say that because sometimes people don't have people's best interests at heart. Okay. That's something that you have to keep in mind and you have to remember as well too. Okay. And I say all that to say, sorry, y'all, something just came to mind. Just trying to write down before I forget. But yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Sorry, Spirit asked me to write something down. I'm just writing it down before I forget. Anyway, so I say all that to say that basically some of you guys should just be mindful and aware of that as well too, okay? Because again, it could be a situation that you don't remember as a child because you was young, and for some it could be a situation that you do remember, and maybe you might have just suppressed it throughout your life. You came up with coping mechanisms to the point that that helps you to work through, not necessarily work through that in a healthy way, but just basically what I'm hearing is mask that, which is funny, basically to mask that pain in order to be able to function in life. Okay, well now God is asking you to kind of face that pain in order to be able to heal it. Okay, so that way you can break free from the chains of the mask that has been kind of holding you back, that's kind of been suppressing you, holding you back, and keeping you from really coming into who you were truly meant to be. Okay, so anyway, for some of you, that's a situation that some has dealt with. And then another thing to be mindful as well too, be mindful, because if you are an adult and you have like your adult young children, maybe your child may have just graduated, maybe it's a situation where your child's about to graduate, or maybe they're like in high school or whatever the case may be, and you have them around, let's just say your other kids in a sense, that who are possibly adult kids in a sense. Just be mindful, because it's almost like people remember, when God has given you a task, and what I'm hearing is when God has given you a task of healing generational trauma in a sense, that's something that he intended for you to do in a sense, and not necessarily push it down to the next generation thinking that, oh, this is too much work, so I'm going to leave it for the next generation. No, in this lifetime, if God gave you something, he said, this is what you need to heal. That's what he's expecting for you to heal. No ifs and buts about it. And I say all that to say, for some of you guys, I'm sure it's a situation that you keep feeling like time after time, you feel like God is is an image of God having like his foot on your neck in a sense. Okay. And I say all that to say, because for some of you, I'm hearing it's prideful energy, being prideful, being in the ego, again, all that stuff that's possibly tied back maybe to your parents, maybe to your dad, maybe to your mom. You might have saw them being egotistical, you might saw them being prideful, too prideful to even say, hey, I'm sorry for something, or too prideful to say, hey, I messed up, or hey, I was wrong for certain situations, because people can pass that energy down to the next generation, and people can walk around here on this earthly plane thinking that nothing that they do stinks, or thinking that everything that they do is correct, and it actually is not. Okay, it's being more hurtful than harmful. I'm sorry, it's being more harmful. Okay, it's nevertheless, it's being harmful and hurtful. Okay, so another thing that you guys should remember, as I said too, if you have like adult children and you are, a dad, and let's just say your kids are coming over to your house, the way I saw this is, again, your kids are recording, again, eyes are the windows, and they are recorders, and they're recording, just watching what they see to do, because sometimes it could be a situation of kids are kind of looking up to you in a sense of thinking that what they're doing is actually correct, and it's actually is not correct. It's kind of like, it could be a situation of kind of almost like leading people astray in a sense, okay? Where that may be something, what I'm hearing is that you may end up regretting later down the road. So, or even could be regretting it now. So be mindful of that, because it's almost like, as an example, there are people out here who intentionally have their blinds open, okay? So I'm going to say spiritually, okay, for some people. For some people, it's spiritually. For some people, it is physically. They may have their doors and their windows open because they want people to look into their house, okay? And I say all this to say that, before, once upon a time, it's almost like, there are people who leave their doors open intentionally, let fresh air in, fresh light in a sense. But then, when you start going on a spiritual journey and God starts to mature you, he have you to see things from a different mindset and a different, he has you to see things from a higher perspective, in a different mindset, in a sense of, what you thought was before to be true. Just because you see other people doing it, you do it in a sense, like, no, as a means about boundaries, because it's like somebody had their windows open intentionally. Okay. So their windows were open intentionally for somebody to see in. Why? Because they wanted something. Okay. And it's almost like creating an illusion of bringing somebody into your home spiritually, to have them look into your window to see what you have going on. Remember, time, intention is currency. Okay, so I say all that to say that it's almost like when they get you to look into their home, it's like you start paying them attention now. Okay, so obviously they want something from you, but be mindful, because the way I saw it was, it's almost like these people may either just be trying to get, let's just say, your child, or children to kind of look into their home spiritually, if your children are spiritually inclined. Again, if you're somebody who kind of does stuff like this and then you do a double take in a sense, be mindful of that, again, because it's almost like, again, these people want you to look into their homes, and it's intentional for a reason that's not for a person's highest or greatest good, okay? Because the word that kind of came to mind was like okey doke, okay? And sometimes spiritually, people can be a little bit more inclined than you are. So sometimes there's a lot of people just kind of going out here. The way I see it is kind of waving wands in the sense of, you know, you get this, you get this, you get this, you get this in a sense. You know, it's to the point now I even stop. I be mindful of, you know, when people sneeze, and, you know, we would say that word, you know, that word when people would sneeze in a sense. I even try to be mindful of even stuff like that now, because it's almost like, you know, people may, let me just say this. People are a little clever. They're a little trickster, little scammers. Not everybody, you know, you have those people who have good hearts, and they are, they do have good hearts in a sense. And it's almost like you have those who don't have good heart spaces, and it's all about what you can do for, it's all about what you can do for them, or what can you give them in a sense, okay? So anyway, but if you guys want to tune into TikTok, I need to do a video on that whole, when somebody sneezes, that word that we as Black people would normally say to other people that we have to stop saying in a sense, okay? That's in, because that was instilled to us in a sense, okay? And we're not even aware of us using that word prematurely, of knowing that how it can affect other people in a positive way, but maybe affect you in a negative way, okay? Anyway, so this next message, this came through a song. Oh, really quick. It's like, as I said before, the Most High wants to bring you guys healing into your life, but it's a matter of, you know, he's trying to balance those scales. But sometimes some of you guys get in your own way, whereas he's trying to bring you something, and it's like you sabotage that with your thinking, is what I'm hearing. For some of you, it's a situation feeling like feeling like feeling like in a cage is what I'm hearing. Okay, like imprisonment in your mind in a sense, okay? So anyway, I say all that to say that, again, he's trying to bring healing into your life, and he's trying to put the right people in your life so that way that you can heal in a sense. But it's a matter of, are you open to receive the healing that the Most High is trying to bring to you? And this other message came through as a song, and what stood out in the song was, I don't know if you guys ever heard of DC Scorpio. You know, it used to be my song. But I say all that to say that the Hustler song, you know, the part that stood out in the song, it says, you had a good life, now you're disgusted. So for some of you, it's a situation that you've kind of built your life up by climbing a corporate ladder. You did this, you did that, you achieved your goals, you got to a place where you wanted to, and now you're realizing that it's not even worth where you're at. And it's almost like what I'm hearing, and thank you, Spirit, what I'm hearing is like you kind of second guess everything that you've done in the process, and looking back on like, what did it get me in a sense, okay? And I know sometimes people can climb the corporate ladder, and then sometimes it's almost like once they get there, it's all like, wait a minute, but I don't have love. Where's love at? So sometimes people can tend to regret that in a sense, okay? Whereas God trying to get you to do what you're doing in a healthy, in a balanced way. So the next song that came through was Shrek song, okay? I was like, what? Okay. So the song Shrek, the Shrek soundtrack, okay? The song, I think it said, I don't give a damn. I don't know if it said, I don't give a damn about my reputation, or I don't give a damn about my reputation. So for some of you, it's a situation you're just like fed up. You're just like, I don't care, okay? So for some of you, it's a situation you just saying, I don't care, fuck it, whatever the case may be, whatever. And for some of you, it's the situation that you're realizing that, you know what, I have been doing this, I have been doing that, and I'm sick of trying to, you know, overextend myself, my feelings, you know, to all these other people out here, and it's actually not getting you anywhere, okay? And I hear it's almost like some of you are realizing that you've overextended your time, your energy, and your emotions, and your attention to other people who does not necessarily add value to you, okay? So for some of you, it's a situation you may find yourself abandoning that role as being worried about your reputation, okay? And I just heard too, that's right where God wants you at in a sense. It's almost like, because in order for you to receive something, new. You have to let go of something that's old, an old mindset. So for some of you was worried about your reputation and trying to build your reputation up in a certain light, a certain manner, and wanted everybody to be on your side, or, you know, in your corner, or, you know, looking up to you like, yeah, I can do this and I can do that. And whether it be physically or whether it be spiritually, overextending yourself, trying to get and offer people stuff that doesn't necessarily have anything at all to do with you. For some, it's a situation of, what I'm hearing is, for some, it's a situation of you guys have been kind of manipulating behind the scenes, because a lot of stuff that you're offering people is, it absolutely has nothing at all to do with you. Okay. And for some of you, it's a situation of, you think that just because you have a twin, that you're going to get your twin or use your twin to to go into these different establishments that maybe God may have told them to pull their energy out of, in a sense. Okay. So some of you guys, you have promised people stuff that you're not going to be able to deliver. Okay. And that's going to be their own personal fault in a very, in any way. And I say all that to say, because that's just what I heard. Thank you, Spirit. And I say all that to say, because I told you before that some people were going to be deceived on this journey. So whether you were the one that was deceiving people, whether it was intentionally or unintentionally, it's almost like it's the lesson to the other people. Because sometimes when your mind and your heart is, what I'm hearing, thank you, Spirit, if your mind and your heart is based off of greed, it's almost like the Most High will use certain people to how can I say it, to deliver to you exactly what you've been delivering to other people. So again, if your heart and your mind has been based on money, I want this, I want that, I want this, it's almost like God then will use a person that will make them think that, oh, this is absolutely solid, that yes, I'm going to get this, just for them to turn around and realize that it absolutely is not. Okay. That's just what I'm hearing. Thank you, Spirit. So anyway, let me pull, let me want to pull this card real quick and just ask the Most High what he wants some of you guys to know before I end this message. I'm all like way over. Is there a message that you have for the collective that you want them to know, Heavenly Father? What message do you want the collective to know? I know sometimes I come with a Bible verse, or I come with the cards just for a message. I just try to switch it up, or whatever the Most High asks me to do, I just try to go with the flow, okay? What do you want the collective to know for this prophetic message that I just received, Heavenly Father? What do you want them to know? What does some of them need to know, Heavenly Father? What does some of them need to know, Heavenly Father? Well, I didn't expect this many. Okay. For some of you, is spaciousness. What do I do? What do I no longer need? I just said that, right? In order to get rid of something, in order to receive something, you have to get rid of something. What do I no longer need? Help me, God, to release whatever people, places, or things drain my vitality or essence, okay? Show me what will fill me with enthusiasm and joy, which is interesting because I just said that, okay? Talking about people not valuing you, overextending yourself. And the other one says relationships, okay? We just talked about that as well, too. I call in the infinite power of love to take over this union in every way. May it now fully belong to the divine. Let it unfold in the perfect way for each of us. I didn't fear letting go of control. I didn't fear letting go of control. My needs are always abundantly met. Okay, so for some of you, you need to hear that, because some of you have been trying to control the situation, and God has told you time and time again to let go. So you let go for a little bit, and you come back and you try to control again. You let go for a little bit, and it's the same cycle. And he's just like completely let go. I just heard like completely abandon that role. Okay. So truths, it says, when everything is done as an offering, even the acts of speaking, you get shown when to talk and when to be silent. Okay. Your words come from silence, not fear. Your words come from silence, not fear. You do the talking, dear Lord. Oh, okay. Take me over and speak through me. Okay. So for some of you, again, I just said that. Thank you, Spirit. I love when God shows up and just confirm what it is I'm saying, because I told you before, some of you, it's about changing the mindset of how you speak to people, in a sense. Okay. You're being divinely guided to choose your words wisely, because again, some of you guys can speak and you don't realize the power behind your words, and you can end up prematurely end up sabotaging what it is that God is trying to do for you, all because of you thought it, you spoke it, and you didn't have any control over it. But it's almost like you want what you want, so it's almost like it kind of came out in a way of just heard self-destruction in a sense. Okay, anyway, so for some of you, it's a situation of work. It says, I am now available to receive all who can benefit from my work. I just kind of said that, okay? Use me to relieve suffering on the planet. May all who need to find me. The divine is my complete source for all prosperity and will provide, okay? So for some of you, at the moment that you take it, abandon that role in a sense of what it is that God is asking you to do, you're going to be able to find yourself stepping into, and thank you, Spirit. And I'm hearing some of you guys are about to start stepping into, some of you guys been studying, some of you guys been practicing of just kind of like the Most High has kind of guide you to what it is or where it is or what it is you're going to be doing in this next phase of your life, okay? I got two more cards, actually one more card. And this one is, oh, I did do that one. And this one, I did do this one too. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I do them all? Bear with me, y'all. Oh, this one. Okay, these. Okay, now we have solitude, okay? And it says, once you embrace the inner divine in your own sacred solitude, and I said that when I talked about boundaries and not allowing any and everybody in your energy, cleaning up. I'm hearing some of you guys need to clean your energy. You need to clean your home space, okay? Too many people's energy have been kind of coming and going, whether it's people who have crossed over in a sense. Maybe their energies have been coming and going. And thank you, Spirit. I'm also hearing too, other people's are using their relatives who have crossed over to maybe like psychically spy inside of your home, your house, or whatever the case may be. So for some of you, be mindful of that, because again, it could just be people there to just kind of gain information that benefits themselves in a sense, okay? But having some sort of boundaries in place is a form of self-respect. The right people arrive at the right time, exactly on schedule, without forcing or chasing, okay? And that's the problem. So many people have been forcing and chasing situations of taking control over the situation. And again, what I said, that the Most High is just trying to say, you have been the reason why you haven't received. You thank you, Spirit. You play a big role in your own suffering, okay? Is what I'm hearing. Also, we have perfectionism, okay? Perfectionism is to make mistakes, is so freeing it, the root of creativity and change. Allow me, divine, to make as many mistakes as I need. Free me from the prison of perfectionism. I just said something about being prison in your mind, right? So I said, let me read it again. Perfectionism. Permission to make mistakes is so freeing, okay? Permission to make mistakes is so freeing. It's the root of creativity and change. Allow me, divine, to make as many mistakes as I need. So for some of you, I'm hearing some of you guys, like I said, you keep making the same repetitive thing. And again, sometimes I'm hearing some of you guys may not be teachable at the time, because I know that card came out a couple of weeks ago. Are you teachable in a sense? And it's just like sometimes you need the same repetitive cycles or patterns and behaviors to get you out of the mindset of like, okay, I'm frustrated, I'm tired now, because that's all a part of God's will for those people who don't necessarily just surrender up front, and those who just kind of like what I'm hearing like newbies, okay? Maybe newbies to just not necessarily spiritual practice, but newbies to just really understanding spirituality, period. Because some people come with a sense of power, energy, and they just kind of like not even really realizing how powerful the energy is, how powerful the forces are. And it's just almost like I'm hearing that it's like untamed in a sense. And some, it's a situation of you know how to tame it, but you don't understand the significance behind the stuff that you're doing. Like spiritual laws is what's coming to mind, okay? That's something to remember as well too. So perfectionism, again, allow me divine to make as many mistakes as I need to. Free me from the prison of perfectionism, okay? So for some of you, it's you needed to make those mistakes so that way that you can get out of the mindset of just feeling like everything always has to be perfect. Everything has to be always perfect, okay? Perfect practice make perfect, or perfect practice makes perfect, you know, vice versa, whatever. And then you have enjoyment, okay? Striving and pushing makes life into endless hard work. The more you're inviting love to take over, the more enjoyment comes. Allow me to enjoy this life, dear Lord, which is funny how this last card came out. So some of you just needed to enjoy life, okay? Needed to enjoy life. So the next time you get up out of your bed in the morning, maybe what I'm hearing is ask God, what is it that he would have you to do today? And follow through suit with it, what he asked you to do. You know, if there's something that you don't understand, if he say, go be of service, okay, God, who do I need to be of service to? Direct me to the person I need to be of service to, okay? And allow me to, thank you, Spirit. What I'm hearing is allow me to use my intuition of who I need to be of service to, okay? Allow me to tune into the energy so that I know that I'm giving to the right people in a sense, okay? So again, get out of your bed in the mornings, thanking God for this day. And not only that, but asking him, what direction would you have me to go in today? What would you have me to do today? And you'd be surprised what kind of shows up for you and how your world kind of changes for you if you just learn to just, what I'm hearing is surrender, okay? Surrender. That's all I heard, surrender, okay? So anyway, I hope that information was helpful. Be mindful because some of you guys may find yourself dealing with energies, again, of the past, whether it's situations of emotional abuse, physical abuse, or psychological abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse in some sort of kind. It's be mindful of, even talking to the Most High. Again, if something you don't understand, speak to the Most High. Just speak to him. He will give you synchronicities. It's up to you to just kind of pay attention to the little details and information. Sometimes I'm hearing, thank you, Spirit. Sometimes he may give you that information through a dream state. Sometimes he may give you that information through something that you're watching on TV. Sometimes he may give you an answer to something that maybe you're hearing on, let's just say, the radio or through music. Sometimes he could be trying to give you information of something that's, that you're connecting the dots with something out in nature. Okay. So those are just little things when I say about synchronicities of how God kind of speaks to us throughout, our days, in a sense of just kind of tuning into that energy. So going forward, as people are starting to heal their trauma, in a sense, it's almost like I'm hearing, be easy. Be gentle with yourself, okay? And I say be gentle because, again, if you think about a child, when a situation like that happens, you kind of have to handle that situation with care, in a sense, okay? Because, you just kind of have to handle it with care, okay? Because you know that as a child, you don't think like an adult. You don't act like an adult. You're coming from a mindset of a child, okay? So give yourself permission, give yourself the space to purge, cry, or, really tune into that feeling, that emotion of what the pain was behind what was done to an individual person in order to help you to be able to move forward, okay? Again, because God is about eradicating, okay? Get rid of something that you did not necessarily know what was there. Does that mean that's the only thing that's possibly there? No, at this point in time, in this stage in our journey, this is what God is asking people to heal and fix at this point in time, okay? We're always evolving. We're always learning. We're always growing in some sort of way until the day we leave this earth, okay? So anyway, I hope that information was helpful, but you guys can join me over on TikTok if you like, in a sense, and I have additional messages that's over there as well too, okay? Just topics that I talk about. So wish you all much love, much light on your journey, and remember to be mindful if you are a masculine or a feminine, to just be mindful again of both people, not saying that just one or the other one isn't sensitive. Both individuals are sensitive beings, okay? And you have to realize that and treat each other with care in regards to the energies that may be playing, or I'm hearing the energies that may be around you. For some of you, I'm hearing this location has a lot to do with that, okay? People could be projecting. And I just also heard too, if you guys remember that I did a message a couple of weeks ago when I said you guys are stronger together than you are apart, because when your love comes together, in a sense, it's almost like love is the highest vibration of all. So therefore it combats anything that may be targeting a person, okay? It's like the love covers you, in a sense, okay? And as long as the two of you guys are apart, it's always going to be situations of, it seems like, people just kind of trying to take advantage of, again, puppeteer, manipulate, because they know that sometimes people can be in their pride, their ego, in a sense. So it's almost like they add more attention to this situation just to keep more confusion going. So that way you possibly don't step into your purpose. And some people know that you're about to step into your purpose. As I told you guys before, just be mindful of kind of like the baby moms too, in a sense, because, even for myself, as an example, I had like my stepson's mom trying to like not reach out to me, but it's like God was revealing to me what she was kind of doing behind the scenes in regards to wanting to find out information in regards to me, in the sense of, I guess, maybe how, I don't, whatever she was trying to misuse it for. Okay, remember I said these people work for like these different entities, institutions, and so on and so on. So be mindful, because you don't know these people's, their hearts, you don't know their journeys, you don't know their mindsets, you don't know their family karma, and you don't know their intentions and behind the things of which they do, and whether they're for you or whether they are against you. So remember that your twin is you and you are your twin. So anybody that be against your twin is also against you, but they may come in the form of cloaking it as if they care. But that's why it's important to let go and tune into God. God, is this a healthy situation? How do I deal with this person, but set healthy boundaries to the point that they're not crossing boundaries, that I am aware of them trying to manipulate, that they keep stuff going or keep stuff happening in the relationship that keeps me from the true love that I need to experience, that you're asking me to experience, in a sense. Okay, but as I said before, some of you is just a situation they know that you are apart, in a sense. So therefore, if it's just a matter of them projecting and, you know, projecting their negativity, their jealousy, their hatred, and all that other stuff at a person, so that way you can then and target it towards their child as well as towards your twin, in a sense. Okay, but remember, when you target your twin, you're also targeting yourself. Okay, and that's something that you have to remember, whether it's physically being done to you or spiritually being done to you, it doesn't matter, you also targeting yourself. Okay, so I'm going to end it there. Wish you all much love, much light. To the next message. Bye.